In this video, I'm going to be taking you through how to properly manage and handle 4C hair to improve hair growth and length retention. Now, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's dive deep into it. And also, this is a weekly routine, so this might be the only time you'll need to touch your hair. Firstly, we're going to start with the pre-poo treatment for detangling, and I like to use flaxseed gel. It's easy to do. You just add water to the seeds, and just like that, you boil it until it becomes like this. And just like that, you're just going to strain it, allow it to cool off a little bit. That way it's going to thicken enough and it's ready for use. And also for this treatment, if you do not have flaxseed gel, you can also try aloe vera gel. It works as best as well. Just make sure that whatever that you use to detangle your hair, it's a product that has sleep, and also at the same time it's water-based, meaning it's going to be a lot more easier to wash off when it comes to shampooing, because you don't want to be having buildups after all the shampooing and everything. Now this is how my hair looks like, and to be honest, I wasn't doing good with my hair recently. I left it in that state for about a few days, and normally this is why I advise that you keep your hair in a good protective hairstyle, so that you don't have to deal with things like this when it's wash day or you have to do routines or anything like that. And you can see that my scalp was also very dry, so I definitely need to get my hair back into a good manageable state. Now after all the hydrating, spraying my hair with water, you can actually see how easy my hair is now. It's bouncy, it's a lot more elastic, and it makes it easier to actually start working with it. Never start with working with dry hair. I know there's a thing that says you can just detangle with a leave-in conditioner, you can just do this and that. Make sure your hair is wet throughout when you're working with it, especially if you're working with 4C hair. So much necessary. And also, now I'm going to start detangling, I'm working into sections just so that I minimize the tangles, the pain, and it's so much easier to work with this way. And then I'm just going to finger detangle like this to make the hair a lot more looser. And then after then, I'm going to section again into even more smaller sections. Like at this point, if you can go smaller with the sections, even better, okay? So after doing that, I'm going to stretch out a little bit nice like that. And then I'm going to apply flaxseed gel. It's going to give my hair the sleep. It's going to make it easier to detangle. And just like that, after applying the flaxseed gel, I'm going to get a white tooth comb and I'm going to detangle all the way from the tips to the roots of my hair like that. Easy and nice. My hair is not going to tangle like crazy. My hair is not going to be pulling. It's not going to be fighting back, because I'm very gentle with it and I'm very gentle with the process. And then after that, I'm going to put my hair into twist. This is so that my hair doesn't shrink back after detangling. And also, if when you're detangling your hair or when it's wash day, things like that, and you notice that your hair is falling like crazy, it's breaking in chunks, things like that, it's not normal, because I think in so many cases we've normalized that 4C hair breaks a lot, it sheds a lot, the shower must look like crazy when you're done, but it's not supposed to look like that. In most cases, it's the contribution of how we handle our hair that it actually ends up making the situation to be like that. I tell you, when it comes to detangling, it can be easier to just detangle with water alone, which is definitely, yes, a lot more better than detangling dry hair. But I can tell you, when you put in extra effort and try to use products that are sleep to even make detangling a lot more easier, you will actually start seeing your hair having little to no breakage. And also for this detangling process, if you know that you haven't detangled your hair in a while, your hair is crazy tangled or things like that, try as much as possible to add as much as flaxseed as you feel like your hand is needing. You need your hair to be as slippery as possible to be able to detangle your hair very well. When it comes to detangling, there's definitely no limit to how much pre-poo treatment you need to apply to your hair in order to make detangling easier. And also at the same time, you see the comb that I'm using? It's a white tooth comb. It works a lot more better than the average Afro comb that we grew up with our mothers using on our hair. So if you're still using that, you need to throw it away. You need to use the widest comb you can find when it comes to 4C hair. That is just how our hair behaves. You need gentleness and a lot of patience. So anything that is more like ripping it, you need to get rid of that. So you need to, even though you can get a wider comb than mine, even better. And also, this was how my hair looked like when I started my hair growth journey, and this was a year and months later. That was the only difference, and that is to tell you that when it comes to hair growth and hair care, it has nothing to do with genes. Genes only play a role when we talk about the volume of your hair, but definitely not when we talk about the health and length of your hair. Okay, I suffered with stubborn growth for a while, for years actually, before my hair definitely started growing, because I remember my hair started growing well when I was on the second year or so, and that was when I figured out how to take care of my hair. And these are the things that I wish someone told me when I started my hair growth journey. I think my hair would have been a lot more longer by now. So this is me sharing to you all the tips that I wish I knew when it comes to hair care. And also, another big thing you need to know when it comes to growing your hair and all of that is so that you need to learn to do your own hair. Stop going to the salons. Stop relying on someone to wash your hair, to braid your hair, things like that. You need to do it yourself. At least know the basics. Even though you have busy hands and you know that you don't have time for your hair, at least know the basics. At least know that you need to wash your hair like this and that. That way you'll be able to grow much longer hair and healthier hair, because only you and your hands can actually feel if something is wrong, if you're being too tight, if you're being too harsh, because when someone is doing it, they can be shedding your hair and you might actually not be realizing it, and you might think it's normal when they're dealing with 4C hair. And just like that, after detangling all that matted hair, this is just the amount of hair that came out, okay? Now let's make my DIY hair shampoo, and this works as an alternative today because my normal African black soap shampoo is not available. The order is still taking time, but this is the best one I can use. And just like that, you cut it into smaller pieces, add a bit of water in there, just not too much, because you still want it to be a lot more foamy when you apply it to your hair. And the soap that I'm using today, it's just the general multi-purpose bar. This one is the Sunlight brand, I think, and it's a lot more better than the shampoo you can find in store, because the last time I used the branded shampoo from the store to use it as an alternative, I had the worst experience ever. It stripped off my hair of its moisture. Even after shampooing, when I was moisturizing my hair, I could tell that my hair was so dry. It was not even working. It was so crazy. So since then, this is the best one I can use. And now we can go straight to shampooing. And for this process, I'm going to start by wetting my hair, just so that when I start applying the shampoo, it can easily foam up and it can be easy to work with, because when you now start by applying the shampoo on dry hair or things like that, you're going to find yourself using a lot more product than you were supposed to even in the first place, because it's not foaming easily. So this is definitely the best way to do it. And then the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on my scalp, and then I'm going to be using a scalp massager to scrub my scalp very well like that. If you do not have this, you can start by using your fingers, just that this is a definite game changer. And also, this is the best way to do it, considering the fact that there's a lot of dirt and sweat that is actually matted and build up on your scalp. So this is a definite need. Now moving from the scalp, I'm going to make sure that I get all the excess pre-poo treatment out of my hair, just like that. I'm going to shampoo it very well. And also, when it comes to shampooing, I'm going to shampoo my hair twice. The first shampooing is just to make sure that I get out the pre-poo treatment as much as possible, and because it doesn't do the job very well, I have to shampoo my hair twice to make sure that my hair is very clean. And if you notice, while I'm shampooing my hair for the second time, you actually start to see that my hair is actually starting to foam up a lot more than when I was doing the first shampooing. So if just by using a water-based product, it takes this much to just shampoo your hair, imagine if you started by detangling your hair with an oil-based product like butters and oils and doing all the hot oil treatment to do all of that. You can see that it's going to be a lot more work. So this is the best way to do it, okay? So just like that, adding a lot more shampoo. And then when now I'm going to be shampooing for the second time, note that my hair is no longer in twist. So when I shampoo, I'm going to be pulling while I'm shampooing instead of actually massaging your hair, because if now you moisturize your hair while massaging it, you're going to make your hair a lot more tangled And when you detangle after everything, you're going to notice that your hair is going to break a lot more. So all of these routines, just keep in mind that is to help keep your hair in a good manageable state and to reduce hair breakage as much as possible, so that everything overall can help you retain good length and help you grow your hair a lot more longer. Now, after all the shampooing, it's very much important that you deep condition. And this is where I use the herbal mask into my hair. I just add the deep conditioner into a container, mix it with moringa powder, and then mix it like a paste like this. And then I'm going to add rosemary water, a little bit in there. If you don't have rosemary water, you can just use regular water. It'll also work just as fine. Just that I love the strengthening benefit of it. So that is why I use moringa powder and rosemary water into my mask when I apply it to my hair. And then I'm going to section my hair. This is the best way to do it. Now, to apply any kind of product, whether you're moisturizing, whether it's a deep conditioner, always do it in sections. This is to ensure that the product actually gets to every part of your hair and you don't miss sections. So if you are someone that normally when you apply a deep conditioner, you just apply it to your hair once, it doesn't get to the middle part of your hair. So you definitely need to work in sections. It also saves product while also making sure that every part is actually deep conditioned, and that way you can see that your hair will get a lot more healthier and happier and all of that. And then after that, I'm going to put my hair into twists like this after applying the deep conditioner, just so that I can separate the part that I've worked in, and also at the same time, we don't want the hair to be shrinking while I'm still working with it in the process like this. So this makes things to be a lot more easier. And if you want your afro hair to be bouncy and stretchy, elastic and all of that, never skip deep conditioning, okay? When you deep condition your hair, it's going to help soften it and make it easier to work with, so that during the week, if you want to put it in a protective hairstyle, things like that, you're going to find that it's so much easier to work with. Just after hydrating your hair alone, you can start being happy and all bouncy and all of that. So everyone wants that kind of happy hair when it comes to 4C hair. But one thing to always keep in mind is that when it comes to deep conditioning, never leave it in your hair for more than an hour. Never leave it in for more than an hour. It's a deep conditioner. It's going to continue doing the work. It's going to over soften your hair, and your hair will just start breaking and shedding. So this is a good treatment, yes, but if you overdo it, it can be a weapon formed against you. So you definitely need to be very careful with this. And also, my main reason why I'm adding herbs during this process is because they're so much easier to wash off. Unlike when you're using it in a pre-poo treatment, it's not going to be easier because they either stick together and all of that. But with this, with a deep conditioner like this, when it comes to rinsing it out, it goes out a lot more easier. So if I don't use it into a deep conditioner like this as a mask, normally I just mix it in my butters just so that I can use it as a leave-in, things like that. But so far they've helped me so much in my hair strengthening. So you definitely need to start adding herbs into your routine. So if you're not using moringa powder, try fenugreek, try chili powder. They work best. I've tried chili powder before and I still use it in my butters, and I can tell you it has also helped me to improve my hair growth so much. And also, deep conditioning is the best way to introduce moisture into the hair, because normally after shampooing you can actually feel that your hair is dry. No matter the shampoo that you're going to use, you're just going to feel that your hair is dry. After using a deep conditioner, you can actually see that your hair is feeling a lot more smoother and it's not as dry as before. That is the best way to introduce moisture to your hair at first, and then after all of that, it's going to be a lot more easier for you now to start adding the butters, and now you start moisturizing after all the washing and everything. So now I'm just going to apply the axis because nothing goes to waste, and I'm going to keep this treatment in for about 30 minutes, and it's just going to do the work. After all of that, I'm going to rinse out my hair easy and nice. And when I start rinsing, I'm going to start by focusing on rinsing the product that is on my scalp, and it's best to start rinsing while my hair is in twists like this. And then now I'm going to take down the twist, because even though you do not add herbs and it's just a deep conditioner in there, it's definitely still going to be trapped in between the twist, no matter how much you're going to rinse out your hair. So when it comes to rinsing out, take down the twist and do another rinsing to make sure that you get that product, all of it out. Just like that, rinse as much as possible and make sure that your hair is all clean and nice. Just like that, I'm going to get it out of the water. And then just to wipe my hair, I'm going to use a shirt because it's a lot more gentle and it actually dries my hair very nicely compared to a towel, where after you're doing that, you find your hairs on the towel. So this one, very gentle and nice. And you can actually see how bouncy and nice my hair is. And this is how stretchy my hair is. And you can actually see that it's so soft and nice and a lot more easier to work with after all the deep conditioning, okay? So after all of this, the final step they're going to do is to moisturize. And it's best to moisturize my hair while it's still damp like this from the water. After all the shampooing, I feel like the pores are still a lot more open, and it's so much easier for the hair to actually feed on the product while you're applying it while it's still very damp like this. And to moisturize my hair, I'm going to be using the LCO method. Now the L means there must be liquid, which means now my hair is going to be hydrated before I start working with it. Just like I've said, it's damp. Following with the hair butter, I'm using unrefined shea butter. I just added chili powder as a herb into it. And then after, I'm going to add the oil to lock in the moisture. That way my hair is good and moisturized for the rest of the week. Unless I feel like my hair is dry at some point, that's the only time I'll moisturize my hair, maybe like twice a week. But this is the best way to do it. The moisture is going to stay in your hair a lot more. And I'm telling you today, if you have 4C hair or you have rough hair like mine, the hair that is heavy like this, you need heavy moisturizing on it. Things like leave-in conditioners, just that, and oil there and there, they're not going to help you. You need to heavily moisturize your hair. When you feed your hair, when your hair is happy, it's going to grow more. Just make sure that you moisturize as much as possible. Just like this, heavy moisturizing on wash day can carry you for the whole week and also keep your hair very healthy and very happy, just like this. And happy hair means good hair growth. And while I'm moisturizing my hair like this, I'm also keeping it into twists like this in case I don't have strength to do any fancy protective hairstyle for the week. My hair will just be kept into this twist like this. Unlike just moisturizing my hair and letting it to be, and the next day you're going to find it matted as though I never detangled or things like that. So this is the best way to do it. On your wash day, put your hair into thick twists like this. It will definitely be a good benefit. And also at the same time, the main reason why I detangle my hair again after all the moisturizing is so that I keep my hair in a good manageable state. Now this is the final detangling. This way, even though during the week I need to take down my hair, I want to wear my hair out, it's no problem. I won't be needing to detangle my hair. I'll just take down the twist, hydrate, have my afro weight out nice like that. It will just be neat throughout. So this is the only time you need to detangle your hair. So when you're styling, you definitely not need to be detangling your hair. So this is the only way you do it. And apart from twist, the protective hairstyle I recommend you can try out for other weeks is that you can try African threading, or what we call Ben Betty. Is just a wool. You wrap your hair and then you do that kind of hairstyle with the wool. Or you can just try flat twists, or you can just try single braids. Although when it comes to braids, I advise you do it if you have much longer and thicker hair. If you have shorter hair and you're going to do thin braids, your hair is going to shed when you're taking it down, and that means it's not good for everyone. So for the hairstyles that I can say you can do, and they're just going to be good for your hairline, good for your hair health overall, not depending on the kind of hairstyle that you have. It's just flat twist, Ben Betty or African threading, and twists like this. And also, when you do twists like this, if you're still trying to grow your hair, stay away from mini twists. Just do medium twists, things that are going to be easier to do, easier to take down, just so that you don't pull your hair when you're doing it. Because sometimes when you're taking down your hair, you can get frustrated and you can start pulling and yanking your hair and all of that and tearing it. So you don't need to be doing those kind of things. And also, let it be a reminder to always take care of your hair ends. Make sure that your ends are properly taken care of. The way you moisturize your scalp and make sure that you hydrate it, you moisturize it so that new growth comes, is the same way you need to make sure that you maintain the health on the ends of your hair so that you never find yourself in a position where you feel like your ends are dead or they need trimming or anything like that. Because in reality, when it comes to our hair doesn't need trimming. So when we start complicating things in hair care and all of that, and we start missing what we need to do in order to prevent the trimming to happen in the first place, we end up being in the position where we feel like trimming is necessary, it's a normal thing to happen. Well, it's not. So you need to take care of your hair overall, and just like that, your hair is going to be healthy, is going to grow in a good, very healthy state. And also keep in mind that protective hairstyles like cornrows, they're not hairline friendly. Sometimes you're doing everything correct, you're putting your hair in a good protective hairstyle, but if the protective hairstyle is cornrows, you need to stop doing it because it's not nice to hairline, it pulls off the hairline. So you definitely need to find a good alternative just like that. And if it works for you, that's great, but this is for those that go to the salons to get their cornrows done, or when they do it in very tiny lines. Those ones, they're not good, they're not going to work with your hair very well. So just like that, find a good alternative and you have good and healthy growth. Now after all of that, my scalp is moisturized, dandruff doesn't have a place to stay, and just like that, my scalp is not going to get ashy, it's not going to get dry, my hair is in a good protective hairstyle, and my hair is just good for the rest of the week. And just like that, we're going to be having new growth.